My name is Collins Abiodun Adeyemi. I'm a Director of Ceremonies, and I think around here people know it as a Master of Ceremonies, but I picked up the appellation of Director of Ceremonies to stand out from the pack, and of course because I had tried to brand the trade in a particular high-profile way. I felt probably it will make you distinct, in your chosen profession. I am the CEO of CA Diversified Creations, which is a PR events, media and planning consultancy agency. We do a lot of work around the north, and it's been quite interesting, challenging over the years. I have been self-employed ever since I graduated from the University of Ilorin in 1989. I've never taken up a paid-up employment. I've always been an apostle of self-reliance, and I've tried to do several things over the years before I found my true calling and passion. I'm a motivational speaker. I deliver also keynote papers at different seminars and forums I'm invited to. It's always a very busy time for me, always thinking of what next to do. And you'll agree with me that to be a successful entrepreneur, one of the things that you need to know and be equipped with is your constant appraisal of each stage of your life, and you need to keep on finding new ways in which to expand your business. I also have a company called M&More. It takes care of ushering and modeling needs of our various clientele out there. We have very disciplined, tall, pretty young girls who work in this agency. People who know their onions and who want very successful events, contact us and use our staff. I'm also an artist. I paint, I draw as a hobby. I enjoy doing that. I particularly think those skills are innate. I grew up doing that. So, in fact, when I first started my business, when I graduated from school, that was my source of livelihood. I turned my kitchen into a studio because I couldn't cook then. I felt there was no need in keeping the kitchen, so I converted my kitchen into an office studio, and I started churning out lovely artworks. And that was actually when I really started in the outside world. While I was in the university, something very interesting happened. I always knew I wanted to be self-employed when I left school. I had started making small little monies here and there while I was in the university because I studied performing arts, and my fellow students and lecturers, at that time when they were going to produce major drama productions, I'll be invited to paint the set of the backdrop. For instance, a village setting or a scenery, or riverside scenery, whatever it was. So I got paid to do that, and I work overnight till morning, and by the time they all come in the morning, their set is ready. So those experiences made me realize that, well, if I could do this in the four walls of the university, probably I could extend that outside in the larger world. You will agree with me that these days not so many young people have the mindset to set up businesses on their own. People don't have the courage. A lot of people, because of the risk factor involved, always find it so difficult to set up businesses on their own. Small SMEs, like we all know, small and medium enterprises seem to be the in thing now in Nigeria. Everybody wants to do some little work or the other, some trade or the other. But I know one of the complaints most young people will tell you has to do with finances. When I started, I did not start my business with one single kobo. If I was 0 kobo at that time. I tell young people that there are certain ways you can raise funds to start your business. And I could just let you know a few of this. One, you could borrow money from family members who have the confidence and trust in you. Because it's one thing giving someone money and it's another thing for the person to pay back the money. That's you collecting a loan. At times you could also get money from friends who believe in you. And then of course you promise to repay back these loans. You can also log into federal government programs. They have quite a number of different programs which the federal government rolls out. For instance, there's the UWIN program, which is also aimed at helping the young ones find access to some grants to set up their businesses. And I think this particular one is even free. Okay, so there's the federal government UWIN program, which young people can also tap into, where they give different loans ranging from 2 million to 5, 10, 15, I think 20 million, depending on what your business proposal is. We also have angel investors. Angel investors are, just like the word angel says, are people you just run into and you sell your idea to them and they buy your idea and say they want to sponsor or they want to give you some loan to set up the business. Now, in some cases, angel investors will tell you they want to be they want to have a stake in that business, meaning they'll buy some shares of that business. Another way young people can raise funds is these days we have a lot of reality shows on television. Young people can log on to some of these reality TV shows. I know there's a popular one, Dragon's Den. I watched an episode recently where a Nigerian won some very good money from the dragons. You see, if you're able to convince the dragons that you're a brilliant person, you have a novel concept, business concept, then they buy into it. So there are so many different ways. But if you sit down and say you're waiting for a bank to give you some loan, I'm sure we all know the stringent conditions a bank will give you loan for, including going to bring your father's grave, so that that will be a collateral. That's just a joke anyway. But then, and then of course we have the traditional one, getting the job, being paid an advance payment, which that was how I started. I started, of course, like I said, churning out artworks, and then that led me into printing, and I did quite a lot of printing. And I know in those days, before you start off, you be mobilized 50% of the work. So with 50%, at least you could go very far in doing the job and delivering. So these are some of the key things I've tried to do. Of course, I'm an actor. I've acted quite a number of films in Nollywood with the best names: Olu Jacobs, Liz Benson, Desmond Elliot. My last movie, Last in Love, was I featured alongside Desmond Elliot and Mona Lisa Chinda. I'm currently the vice chairman of the Federation Tourism Association of Nigeria, Abuja chapter. And I'm also the PR of the St. Michael's community in the church. So I try to do quite a number of things. I'm a humanitarian to the core. I love to give to charity. I love to support young people. I love to give out what I have. there's a lot of joy. I find a lot of joy in giving, because when you give, you receive, and givers never lack, like we know. So that has been one of my guiding principles from day one, since when I started my business. I'm an employer of labor. Naturally, I've trained so many young people who have passed through me and my office, and I'm quite proud of that a lot of them are also doing very well in their different fields. I'm a TV presenter and a radio host. I've handled quite a few TV programs on television, including the Consumers Parliament on TV, which is a brainchild of the NCC. I've also presented You Think You Know, which was a TV game show on NTA network, and on also radio, a program called Not to Part. So I try to do quite a number of things, keep myself busy. But by and large, I find time to also unwind. I love to dance a lot. I love to listen to music. For me, music relieves a lot of stress. I play music in my office every time while walking, because I feel it motivates me, you know. I'm married. I'm married to a Seswa who coincidentally just won the UWIN grant herself for her business. I have 3 children, Toby, Tade, and Tamilore. And I try to balance both family and work together, and always seek for newer things to do. So basically, that's my story. It's launched my book titled The Director of Ceremonies. It's a 13-chaptered book. It's a biography of sorts on my profession. And the reason why I wrote this book is actually to keep my promise with the younger generation. Because I noticed that most young people these days, when they graduate from the university, some of them are lost as to what next they want to do. So what I've tried to do is make sure that I've captured everything in this book for any young man or woman leaving the university who wants to follow a similar trade like me. I've tried to document my 10 years experience into the book. So they will find it as a very instructional manual, a useful tool to help them start off in life. Challenges, most people, by the way, the launch was done at the Hilton, Transcorp Hilton in May, and it was well attended. As for challenges, people always ask me, what are the basic challenges? One of the basic challenges I know an entrepreneur faces is the one of funding, just like I mentioned a few minutes ago. People are always scared, when it comes to the issue of funding to run a business. It's always a big problem. Secondly, another major problem or challenge is that of staffing. You see a lot of staff will come, some will crawl on their knees coming to beg you to employ them. Some will tell you they were the best in their set. Some will tell you they are brilliant people, they know what this job is all about. They'll tell you all sorts of stories. Some will even come crying. But once you give them the job, that's where the problem comes in, A lot of them fall below expectations, even when they try to convince you that they know what they're doing. So it's a major problem, staffing. So you always have to continue to talk, train and retrain until probably you get the right one. Of course, at times you're lucky to get the right staff. Another challenge could be haters. I love to say this a lot, haters. We have a lot of haters in the society. And any young man or woman who is not confident about him or herself will find out that your dreams will never come true, because There are people there just waiting to pull you down, even when they know you've got the right stuff. So, and this is a major challenge, really. Even successful entrepreneurs will tell you that their competitors are always looking for ways of pulling them down. So once you know this, you should be able to believe in yourself to say, hey, this is my dream and nobody can stop me. So those challenges will always come. And then finally, you have the challenge of even fighting your own dreams. Some people dream big, which is good. Some people dream to be this and that, and at the end of the day, probably they don't even end up being any of what they've dreamt about. The reason is very simple, because they have also not challenged themselves enough. So you can have a war within yourself. So if the haters outside are also pulling you down, it's easy for them to pull you down because you have not believed in yourself. So it's very important that a young entrepreneur or anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur should learn the art of self-confidence and should also believe, in what that person is doing. And then finally, I always say, there's something I always like to say: hard work doesn't kill, it only rewards. The other day I was going through my Facebook, and somebody posted on his wall that hard work doesn't kill, it rewards. They lied. Hard work has killed many people, and I laughed. Hard work will kill you if you work wrongly or you're doing the wrong work. It will kill you. But if you work hard, diligently, and you know your onions. Knowing your onions means reading a lot. I love to read. Reading a lot, learning more about your trade, finding out what your competitors are doing, finding out, being ingenious, finding out newer ways to beat your competitors. So once you do all that, I assure you hard work will definitely reward. And finally, like I always try to end up my interviews, I say, the good days are here, but the best days are yet to come. Let's keep up with the hard work and with the right path. People who choose that will be successful entrepreneurs.